Hello, Matey Thrive Nation. It's going to be an energetic, passionate podcast all about addiction from a recovery expert, Dr. Robb Kelly. He's got a PhD in psychology, but more than that, with his education and awareness and his experience, he has gone through the journey himself. So it's a warm welcome to Dr. Robb Kelly.
Thank you, Steve. Great to see you guys. It's going to be a good one. Sit down and enjoy.
Brilliant, brilliant. I want to start with one of your greatest memes and one of your greatest statements. Problem is not out drinking or eating or online gambling or any addiction. It's our thinking.
Yes. So when I was homeless, because that's where this drinking stuff took me, I was outside a liquor store at 5:30 in the morning. I was shaking badly. I couldn't speak because I was going into withdrawals. So he let me in the store because he knows me, and he closed the door behind me. On this occasion, I needed to drink. I need to drink, and I put the £10 on the counter, and he put the bottle and took the £10, and this was my not even open the bottle. I looked at the shopkeeper. I looked back at the bottle, and I went, "Holy shit! It's not the alcohol," and that's what got me, going on this journey to find out that alcohol has 1% to do with alcoholism, and the same with any other addiction. So you can cure addiction. Alcoholics are born, drug addicts are made, but you can't cure alcoholism because of the hypothalamus, and we'll get into that shortly. So yeah, it's definitely not the alcohol. That's kind of the symptom of 1%, but the 99% and what is the gateway drug is childhood trauma, and of course, being brought up in a dysfunctional housing or parents or caregivers around you. So anybody can stop drinking and using, but can you stay stopped? The idea is no. And the reason why is the basal ganglia is broken.
Okay, so the brain needs help, neural rewiring. But just tell us about self-talk and thinking when it comes to addiction overall, because I think a lot of this stems from what you're talking, to yourself and what you're saying to yourself, which is critically important in the journey.
Yeah, so self-dialogue, or internal dialogue as we call it, is very, very important. So when you drop a pen on the floor, "Oh, you stupid idiot," that stuff there will come back and bite you. Because what we tell ourselves, we believe. How that works is the subconscious brain wakes up in the morning because of a hypoxic situation, and we have to jump into the conscious brain with the methods that we use so that the internal dialogue becomes healthy. Once the internal dialogue becomes healthy, you've got a better chance of recovering from anything that you're going through. So breath work in the morning is vital, but not the breath work that people know. It's exaggerated breath in and out to get the oxygen flowing. That gives us a good start. And when we talk to ourselves good, like there is nothing a human being can't do. I am convinced of that. If you want to build an empire, build a freaking empire. Oh, it's not that easy. Yeah, it really is. It really is 2025. Well, when I came to America 20 years ago, I used to say to people, "Hey, listen, internal dialogue is very important. So what you tell yourself is what you'll become, with a few other things that will teach you." And the one thing Americans used to say to me is, "I can't be president of the United States." That's all they bounce back at me all the time. Let's go back 6, 7, whenever it was years ago. We had a business to run the country with no political experience whatsoever. Don't dare tell me you can't achieve your dreams. It's not true. Somebody's put that there. Yeah. Because somebody's put that there, limited beliefs, that becomes internal dialogue, and that's why you can't move forward.
So does the thinking, say for instance, I got a 9-year-old and a 21-year-old, we've learned a few things. Now, does the self-internal dialogue come from external, like maybe a teacher, maybe parents, they've watched something, they've seen something, they've experienced something, you don't think it's traumatic, but it is causing a wound inside, then they start speaking to themselves in a certain way, that starts shaping their beliefs?
Oh man, that's a great question, Steve. Out of the thousands of podcasts I've done, nobody's asked me that, and it's a really important question. Of course it does. So when you're a toddler, it starts when we're toddlers, and mom says, "Don't put your hand on the stove, it's hot, it'll burn you." And we do, and it burns us. What the child learns then is whatever mom tells me is the truth. And as we grow up, everything that's said to us, done to us, whatever it is. Here was my devastation for long. How long have I told you, Robert, you can't go to college like your brother? You're too stupid. Now, that was done in jest, but that took me years and years to get over that. So if a young girl is in a house where it's an alcoholic, violent house, where dad comes home a few nights a week, drunk, gets into an argument, then gets into a fist fight with mom, and then everyone goes to bed, the child sees this, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When they get up the next morning, oh, I'm sorry, but I love you. I'm sorry about last night. I love you. What the child learns from that is violence equals love. So she will attract the same guy that ends up beating her and abusing drugs or alcohol or whatever.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane how this works, because the mind runs everything. If you think the brain does, guys, you're wrong. The mind sits inside the brain, hence mind over matter. So if we can program the mind every morning, because the brain resets every 24 hours, well, 3 parts of it, then we're winning straight away. So what we hear, we carry with us. So you're never good enough. I came up with a phrasing, never tall enough, thin enough, blonde enough, or rich enough. That's what we bring on. And the imposter syndrome is huge when we come from a dysfunctional house. And like you said, it could be parents, it could be caregivers, it could be, scout leaders, anybody that says something derogatory. And the reason is this: alcoholics and addicts hear things different. And the reason why we hear things different is we're more sensitive to a trauma. So what most people think trauma is plane crash, car crash, not with alcoholics. Me and my brother stood on the kitchen table one day. We're about 8, 9, 10. My mother walks in. This is what she says to both of us: "Will you get down off that table? Stupid idiots, get down before your dad comes in." My brother jumps off and I freeze. Why did I freeze? Well, I've heard, "Get down off the table." Here. So I automatically in fear and I freeze. When you get that understanding, you realize that everything around us as we grow up and as an adult has a diverse effect on how we behave and how we act. The internal dialogue, all that stuff becomes our beliefs. It becomes our belief system. You can't be a blah, blah, blah. You can't be a... When we were young, Steve, I don't know about you, but we used to kick a ball around the streets, me and, 6 or 7 other friends. And we go, "Hey, Jimmy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" "I want to be a footballer." "What about you, Billy?" "I want to be a scientist." Do you know what happened to them dreams? I'll tell you. They were kicked out of us by our family and friends. "You can't be a footballer. Don't be sick." Says who? Who's making these rules up? You can't go to America and be a success, Rob. You're a homeless drunk. Says who, man? Because we have proven from quantum physics and the neuroscience that we study today with the epigenetics in and all that stuff, that you can hack your brain, your mind, and your body into a better life, period.
Wow. Mind over matter. Mind, exactly. The mind being the most important. Programming the mind being the most important. So I just want to ask you a question, because I got a 9-year-old. So probably the greatest story that I can tell her now is anything is possible. If I can get that meme, that understanding, that anything she comes up against or anything that someone says about her or anything that she starts believing, because whether it's conscious or subconscious, that comes from me. Oh, we do things that often tell a story with our bodies and our body language. That's sometimes even more important that kids pick up. Do you think that's probably one of the greatest bastions and pillars that you can bring up children and teens, and especially when their brain is not fully developed, their frontal cortex isn't fully developed? What would you say maybe are the 3 most important stories that you would want younger generation to believe and then have that internal dialogue?
The first thing is, like you just said, is you can be anybody you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. It's been proven millions of times over and over again. Secondly, the biggest thing we get with 9, 10, 11-year-olds when we come in here is number 2, validation, number 3, approval. Kids do not get validated. Dad's at work, mom's at work, they come home, kid goes upstairs playing games for like 4 hours. It's crazy. So we came up with this saying that was hated by a lot, but understood by few. And that is, anything less than nurturing as a child is child abuse. If you're allowing your child to come on without any validation or approval or what "Hey, dad, look at the picture." Yeah, okay, then. Wow. Damaging to the brain. It tells the child that they're not worthy, or whatever they do, dad's never going to like it. My dad was like that with me. I was into bodybuilding and fighting, and I brought so many trophies home, like big trophies, and okay. You never say great job, never ever say great job. And I suffered from that and became the imposter in the imposter syndrome and never thought I was up to much or anything. So whatever I tried doesn't make any difference. Because it's not. So I was chasing dad's approval for 35 years.
So you were
it's really
chasing validation,
yes,
and approval from the people that you believed loved you and cared for you and that were around you.
correct. And a lot of it is a measurement and learned behavior. Because if you're not getting validated as a child, you're never going to get validated as an adult because you don't believe it's true. Hey, Steve, you're a good looking guy. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, Steve, you're really good at what you do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We don't accept that validation because we push it up because we know it's going to be false because I didn't get it at home. So why are you telling me I'm any good? So the childhood trauma and the family dynamics work that we do here around that will eliminate that. So you start to accept the compliments. The biggest thing for people to do, especially with addiction issues, is to say thank you. Hey, Rob, I like them glasses you've got on. Thank you. Because this was me so many years ago, Steve. Hey, nice glasses. Yeah, yeah, I just threw them. I've never wore them. They're in the cup. Shut up. Thank you. And now I accept them valid. Hey, Rob, you do an amazing job. I really feel that in my heart. Thank you. That's amazing. I get all my staff to compliment at least 3 people every single day. Validate them, lift them up, and approve them of what they're doing that day, even if they're strangers.
Wow. Now, what does that do from a neurochemical perspective if you're starting with gratitude and you're actually executing on it? Because a lot of people say, oh, I'm grateful for my life, but validating and being grateful for other people, what does that do?
Well, there's 4 main chemicals in the brain that need to happen every day. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. They're the 4 chemicals. If you can get them going every day, you are going to have an amazing day, every day, the rest of your life, period. So the 2 big ones, the dopamine and serotonin, where they're created is in the gut, okay? Not in the brain, but they just travel, neurotransmitters travel, and then you get the 4 together. So what it does is when somebody says, thank you, you're amazing, or really, what you did for me, man, was you feel it. Somatic experience, you feel it in your stomach, then you feel it in your heart. Now, listening to the body is very important. So how can I change the world today? Well, go out and get in a built-up area of people, sneakers or training shoes. When somebody walks up with you with nice sneakers on, I want to say 2 words, guys, nice sneakers. That's it. Get nice sneakers. Oh, thank you, man. Turn around and watch him walk away. He's going to look down at his sneakers at least 2 or 3 times while he's walking. Now you've changed his world. He goes home to the wife or girlfriend. He's in a good mood. Now she's in a good mood. So psychologically and chemically, everything changes with the slightest compliment. Nobody tells each other that they're any good anymore. I was in my office in Dallas. The guy came in a few years ago. The guy came in. He was suicidal, Steve. He won't speak to anybody. He came in the office. We had a session. I always tell people I'll change your life in an hour, and if I don't, I'll give you money back. He came out, he was whistling, he was hugging the girls. And after we went, one of the nurses said, oh my God, did you see what Dr. Robb just did? And the older nurse, who's been with me a long time, said, I know, right? And the other girl said, oh, it's amazing, isn't he? And the older girl said, yeah, have you told him that? Oh, I mean, he already knows. I mean, nobody knows. Nobody knows. If you think people know, you are wrong. So this is lifting each other up. I mean, when people walk away from me, they walk away feeling better than when they met me. That's my job in life. Now, my father died on a Thursday. I did a book study with homeless people on a Saturday. My job is to lift them up. Nobody knew my dad had died 2 days before. Like on the way there, I was crying because it was still morning. Nobody knew that because that's not my job. My job is to lift you up. My job is to make you feel as if you could conquer the world. That's the way I operate. And if more people did that, the world will become a lot better than it is, because we only walk around 45 to 55% of our capability. And that's because we never told that, hey, you can really do this. Because my biggest nightmare, Steve, or anybody out there, is when you get to 80 and you look back to your 30s and 40s and you realize that nobody was really watching you and you really could have done anything you wanted to do. Wouldn't that be a nightmare? I don't want to live like that.
Yeah. Exactly. That's powerful vision, and sort of, future casting exactly what you want to be saying when you're 80. You got to change it right now and right today. But even with adults, it's understanding wherever they're at that they can do anything. Possibilities are endless, and then validating them. That would be the bedrock of the change and the transformation that you'd want to look at with addiction, individuals.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of tools here that new software that we've got. It's just mind blowing. It's subliminal messaging along with breath work and the main voice. But it's subliminal messaging from 9 directions with the headphones on. You get it from 9 directions. You don't hear it, but you hear it, if you know what I mean.
Tell me
So,
more. Is that like brain spotting and brain
no,
tapping?
no, completely different. This is frequency and levels. So
Okay.
it gets your frequency right with the music and your levels, your energy levels, and you open because it's subliminally, you're not hearing it go in. But when you come off it, everybody that comes up, even 90-year-old women, they go, oh my God, what the hell was that?
Mm.
And they go, right. Because if you can subliminally plant messages, I used to do it verbally, I still do it verbally now. If you can subliminally plant messages in somebody's head or the brain, especially the subconscious brain, you're going to change that guy or girl that had never been changed before. So people think they can't change. That's wrong. So 9 or 10 years ago, they found out about neuroplasticity and that they thought the brain, medical fraternity, thought the brain was hardwired. It is not hardwired. I can rewire your brain in 3 minutes. Not fully, but I can change neural pathways from negative to positive. 300 neural pathways die in the brain every single day. Every single day. What are you replacing them with? Are you replacing them with the same old devastating, abandoned thought patterns from childhood or even yesterday? Or are you creating these new patterns that all of a sudden you feel great? Subliminal messaging and working. You get on an ID, we do photo modulations, we do brain spotting, we do somatic experience, we do all this stuff so that anybody can change. We can cure addiction and all that stuff, and anything to do with sight we can cure. Can't cure alcoholism. We'll go into that later. But yeah, 100%. And once you spend 1 hour either online or in person, it will convince you that you can change and it'll take you to a different person. So what we found is so the mind is energy. Can't see it, touch it, feel it. But it's been shown that we can connect to another energy. And it has to be an energy. Once that happens, most is a spiritual journey, not a God thing, spiritual journey. And we change the neural pathways from negative to positive, your DNA changes. Why is that important? I'm not the same guy as I was before.
Yeah. So do you change the brainwaves from sort of the high beta and beta, you put them in sort of an alpha, theta in that place, they can then receive and can be open to the neural rewiring?
100%. That's basically what it is. So if you can get into there, that's the music side of it. So especially 2 chord songs. That's why the praise band goes on and plays before the pastor comes on. It's not to go on and dance, it's to bring you to that frequency level where you can accept a message coming into you. That's what the music is. So that's exactly what it does. Then you come off and subliminally you've been planted 20, 30, 40 things in the subconscious brain that will come to fruition over the next 4 to 5 hours, and you start being amazing. And all of a sudden over a period of time you never spend any more than 90 days with us. You've done, finished, get away. We have a 98% success rate with a money back guarantee. So you start believing even the smallest thing that if you we work with podcasters, we work with entrepreneurs as well as alcoholics and addicts. If we don't get to hear that we've all discussed, we'll refund you money. Even that sentence alone goes, holy shit, really? Now they're believing. Why would he do that? Why would he? So it's all this messaging and changing somebody from the inside out. You cannot, in circumstances that we work in, we're just in early stages of Alzheimer's and dementia work. We've seen an improvement of 13% with a couple of people we're working with. That surround you with talk therapy then becomes de minimis to a certain degree. So we have to use these tools that we have. When I believe in somebody, whether they like it or not, they're going to start believing in themselves. That's all it takes, Steve. I need a micro cell to go, you know something? And I mean, it starts when you drive up to the car park, you get out of the car park, we've researched the crap out of you, okay? If you're a first-time patient, we've scoured your social medias. We find out that you like the Dallas Cowboys, that you're into Manchester United. And what happens when you get out the car is there'll be a guarded cup or something in the head with the Dallas Cowboys on it. One of the girls will meet him at the door with like a little badge with Manchester United on it. He doesn't see this, but he sees this subliminally in the subconscious brain. So when he gets in, there'll be a Manchester United football game on the big TV in reception. Still doesn't put two and two together, but what it does is it drops that barrier. Now we're friends. Now we have lots of things in common. That's how we get on with each other. If you're a Dallas Cowboys fan and you're in Pakistan somewhere and you see a Dallas Cowboys shirt, bang, you're both together straight away. The energy in the walls have dropped. Yeah. When you step into my office, you're right there with me, right there. There's no breaking them barriers and break it, because all of a sudden you trust me, like whatever I say is true, like, because they don't know that. But
that is amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, Charles Duhigg, I'm trying to get him on the podcast, the Super Communicators book. You must have a look at it if you haven't. But he talks about neural entrainment. So your eyes start dilating at the same, your brain frequency, because now you've built a connection. Once you connect with someone, you can receive from them. If you can't connect to them, then you can't receive from them. And that's exactly what you're doing. Now you use their tool. Hang on, I've used Dr. Robb's tool, but I'm connected to him. So now I'm going to actually start going through his process. And once you've got buy-in, you can then start looking at the changing.
Word, Steve, buy-in. Once you get their buy-in, which is usually about 3 or 4 minutes with me. So everything I say on here, guys, we've researched and tested ourselves. We've not taken we do it ourselves, even though it's been done before. So we spent almost $1.5 million on research over the years. What we do, and what we find is that buy-in. Can we get that buy-in in the first 2 to 3 minutes? And if we can, or better off, we've got you. Your ours will change you. You will change, whether you like it or not. So we asked 10 people to come into our reception area, and the idea was, you come in, we'll give you $100, you drink coffee, you chat with everybody else, and you leave. Nobody knew what testing we were doing. They all came in. There was doctors. So everybody was in the room, 10, 12 people, I can't remember. What the people didn't know is there were 2 doctors, 2 janitors, 2 mechanics. They paired up in industries, and they were wired head and chest. When we got in, this is what we found. When a doctor spoke to a mechanic, there was little in common. So the frequency raised to about 6%, 7%. When a doctor spoke to a doctor, it raised to about 40%. Because they have a lot in common to speak about. After everybody was comfortable with the music we were playing, people started to become authentic. So when a janitor was speaking to a surgeon, but they were both being authentic, it skipped to 100%.
Wow.
So authenticity becomes the communication. Like you said, if we can connect, whatever it is, pen, oh my God, I use them pens. We'll go to any extreme. People think we're crazy, Steve. We're not. We know what's going on because we've studied neuroscience, we've studied epigenetics, we've studied our food source. Food source in this company is diabolical. We cannot make nothing. So that's why we're always sick and we can't grow to the people we want to grow. So we take all this information, and that's what our patients get when they come here.
So there's a part of the mind, more parts. So if I use the same pen, I support Manchester United, I like your music, so there's a part of the brain that's connecting. So now you're a Manchester United supporter, you go down to the pub, you're watching the game, you've got a great connection. He says you should do this medical treatment. You listen to him. You go to the doctor, he's got a Liverpool, banner out there. He's a Liverpool fan. He's like, he's got the credentials, but I'm going to listen to my mate at the pub because I got a greater connection.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And people don't realize this. DNA change, communication, the mind. The mind is one. Subconscious brain, conscious brain, huge part to play in the daily activity. They fight for each other every day. But with the morning routine that we give them, the conscious brain ignites that day and the subconscious brain away for 24 hours. When we connect our conscious brain with another conscious brain that has anything to do with ourselves, anything, even, I had a girl, shut up, she used to say to me. I used to say that years ago. Connection.
Yeah. And
the more connections you can make, the easier the treatment becomes. That's why we offer a money back guarantee. It's like, you can't do, we've been doing it for 30 years. We're the guys that work with all the rock stars and movie stars. I'm the guy that does all of that, because we're that good. Shouldn't be so egoistic. Not egoistic, sick of watching people die. Sick of watching people not living to their true potential. Sick of watching people scared, in fear. What will people say if I try and start me? They're going to laugh at me. Sick of that shit. That's what's going on over here in this office. It's like, no. If you don't think you can achieve anything, I want to apologize to you because somebody's put that there. That's not a normal reaction from a child or an adult, is I can't do stuff. People have told us we can't do stuff. So if you're hanging around with 9 depressed people, guess what? You're going to become the 10th. If you're hanging around 9 millionaires, guess what? You're going to become the 10th. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Who we hang around with is who we become. So if you've got a bunch of friends that are not validating you or approving you, I was in Dallas for 14 years, Steve, and I said to my buddies, thinking of writing a book. And they were thinking about a book. Well, you're not an author. Yeah, this is about 12, 15 years ago. Don't be stupid, you can't. Never wrote a book, Steve. Moved to San Antonio 4 years. I said to my friends, you know something? New friends now. I'm thinking of writing a book. Oh my God, you've not wrote a book? What's wrong with you, Rob? I wrote a book. And that's just a simple explanation of what you can actually achieve in your life. Other people will slap that down straight away. They will tell you can't. There's two kinds of people in this world, guys. The people that love you for who you are and the people that are jealous of you. And the quicker you find out the latter, the better your life will become. You have to believe. I can go back to the projects where I grew up in Manchester, England, and I can help those people. I just can't live there anymore, Stephen. That's the difference.
So you're talking about the matching principle. The more we match with people, the more we can connect with them. The more we can connect, the more we can speak into their lives. So just thinking about children, even thinking my daughter, I've got to match her. I've got to connect with her to try and speak in and help her with her own internal dialogue. And maybe you can even make a comment on this. The traditional school system that's trying to break people down, that's putting in different sort of dialogues and, comparing them and structuring them in a certain just way and then boxing them in. That dialogue could become more important to my child than their own home dialogue, which is going to be one of uplifting, where the one at the school is going to be one of, destructive or breaking down.
It is 100%. So you just got to watch what your child, your girl is surrounded by and what they're listening to. Anything can be overridden at home. That's the key. Because when you come home, especially girls with dad, they come on, you girls can't wait to get home. They're all excited for school, but they can't wait to get home because dad or mom's there. So yeah, it's just a slight monitoring of what people are being told. That's all. I mean, going through the gen and the mixed man or woman or whatever. I didn't get into all that stuff, but if somebody, we had a patient here and she was trans. And then she came in and tried and convince us that her 6-year-old boy was trans. And he watched, what? 6 years old?
Yeah.
But because you're telling him that stuff, it's going to be confused. You're going to be...
Exactly.
We don't get into all that shit here. He's like, let me tell you the truth about what happened. Let me tell you how you're going to turn them. You have a child that comes home from school at 4 o'clock and plays games for 6 hours. I'll show you a future addict. I'll show you somebody who's never going to amount to anything. Because no communication skills, no loving, no nothing in the house, and they go to school. Everything comes from the house. The way you act at school, the way you become, everything comes from the house. So if you have a dysfunctional family, everything comes from the house. Tests that we've done shows that two parents living together that are fighting every day are destructive to the child. Two parents that separate but both are happy and contribute to the child, they flourish. We learn it's enmeshment, and the enmeshment itself is powerful from dad to daughter, especially from dad to daughter or, mom to son and stuff like the cross stuff there. But yeah, it's very, very important what we say, how we say it, it molds their behavior and thought patterns. The brain only needs one person to validate that thought pattern.
Wow.
So I went to school today, somebody pulled my hair or they said I was ugly or something or whatever. You can correct that straight away that day, right there and there. People do it all the time. Don't be silly, you're jealous and you're beautiful and stuff like that. If the kid is not being told that because mum and dad are too busy, that's a devastation point for us right now.
Yeah, powerful. Let's talk a little bit about your story, because I know that, change is possible without getting to bed sort of like rock bottom like you did. You might sort of have comments on, alcoholism and the importance of the differentiating factor there. But I'm in a place, of medicine 4.0, and one of the P's is preventative. So we don't want to get to a stage. We want to keep people transforming, improving, changing without them getting to the point of rock bottom like you did. Is this number one possible? And then maybe just put a frame there that people don't have to get to a stage where they get a debilitating disease to make changes.
Yeah, again, man, I don't know where you're getting these questions from, but they're awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, so we picked a girl up from an affluent family, and she was in the Four Seasons Hotel. She was drinking a $250 bottle of champagne when we picked her up. That was her rock bottom. So when you hear of you have to eat rock bottom, that's not true, because the rock bottom doesn't mean that you're on the streets. And that's the reason I'm still doing this, Steve. You don't have to go down to the depths I did. That's what we're here for, to educate you that you can pull out of this as soon as you ask for help. We're going to pull you out of that. So no, that's a myth. Just like when you drink alcohol, it kills brain cells. It's a myth. It's not true. When you're done, you're done. That could be in $1 million house, or that could be homeless like me. But when you're done, you're done. I mean, rock bottom is a saying that people have, but mental rock bottom is what we like. When everybody's left, when no one there to approve your bad behavior or drug taking, when everyone's gone, you're on your own. You're on your own. What does that mean?
And what does it look like for most people when they hit rock bottom, even if it's this young girl who's got like drinking champagne and coming out of the limo? What is the telltale sign that people say, listen, now I can change, I'm open to change?
Most people that end up depressed, anxiety, severe, or alcohol and drug, they lost their identity. The alcohol becomes their identity, the work becomes, the cake, the food, the sex, the porn becomes their identity. When they pull her out of that and they realize that that's no longer who they are and they're desperate for help, they come out of that, but they don't have any identity. Our job is to build that, find out who they are and build the identity they were always meant to be. That's what it looks like, but they are lost, they are scared. All these horrible feelings, the subconscious brain is going crazy, the amygdala, all the trauma is around them of what they did and the devastation, and it's just a horrible place to be. It's our job to pick them off the floor and tell them it's going to be okay. With the guaranteed success rate that me and millions of people have, I guess, that's going to be okay. Again, the subliminal, it's going to be okay, man. That's all they need to. But they are in a bad way. They can't think for themselves. So the anterior cingulate cortex, they're feeling torn, of course, the conflicts, the hippocampus, the regulation, loss of memory, because they go into blackouts, even with depression. Ventromedial prefrontal cortex shrinks, which means they cannot cope with normal day stuff. So when you can't cope, you jump back into that defensive system. People like to go back to that, what we call a comfort zone, even though it's painful. There was a girl in Manchester in 1969, went missing, snatched off the side of the street. Young schoolgirl, 16 years old. There was a huge manhunt and nobody could find her. For after 2 months, they pulled manpower and there's one person working on the case. 9 months later, down a country road in the middle of nowhere, police officer in his car following another car with a broken backlight. He pulled him over. Now, back in the day, they didn't have computers, so they would ask this question, is this your car? Yes, it's my car. What's in the trunk? What's in the boot? Oh, yellow jacket, pair of boots. There it is. It's your car. Off you. This guy was being very cagey. So when they looked in his trunk, what they found was a stolen screwdriver. Now they're allowed to go back to the house and see what else is stolen. There were drills, there were ladders, there were all sorts of stuff over the years that he'd stolen from the hardware store. They found a box in the corner 4 foot high by about 12 foot wide. They said to him, we know you've got more stolen stuff, because it was a big padlock on it. They smashed the padlock, they opened the top, and there was the 16-year-old girl that went missing 9 months ago. She was alive, she was bruised, she was battered. We used to take her out every day, have sex with her, bathe, restroom, whatever it was, every single day for 9 months. That's what she was under, that torture. When the policewoman bent down and she helped the girl step out of this box, she took a police coat off and she wrapped it around the girl and said, everything's going to be okay. It's the first thing the girl did. She got back in the box. And that's what we do with life. We get back to that zone. Even though it's painful, man, we go back and we go back. Nothing's going to change if you keep going back. We need to smash that box open and remember 300 neural pathways there every day. What are replacing? There has to be new thought patterns, new actions, new behavior, new traits that's imprinted into the brain. That's the basal ganglia. It's like a repetition, strength, and confirms part of the brain. When it goes around so many times, that act or activity becomes a working part of the brain. So now you don't have to think about that. Like driving a car, when you first start, it's hard. After a couple of months, you've got your license, you can reverse down the driveway, talking to your girlfriend, waving at your mum and listening to music at the same time. It's because it's become a working part of the mind. The problem with the trauma, childhood trauma, the gateway drug, is the trauma becomes a working part of the mind. So what we see is people attracting like-minded people. To the effect, if you find somebody that's really intelligent and got a great job, you'll self-sabotage that relationship because of the learned and messed behavior from childhood.
So childhood trauma, a big part of this process. Incredible. Now, what techniques do you use, EMDR or EFT, or what type of sort of mind, altering or neuro-linguistic programming techniques to use?
So we use NLP. The daughter that was taken off me at 3 years old, and the last thing she said to me was, "Daddy, Daddy, please stop drinking." 30 years on, she contacted me. She's now my lead therapist in my Manchester office, and she's specialized in NLP. So for those who don't know, neuro-linguistic, we're teaching a different language into the brain. That's what we do. That's why the family systems here has to be a certain way. If the wife won't come on board, we won't touch the patient. You both have to learn the trauma to get rid of it and a new language around each other. We do brain spotting, which is kind of with a wand, and you're looking for flickers in the eye going direct into the subconscious brain. You can pull that stuff up. The 9-dimensional subliminal messaging breath work. I have another company called breathbox.studio is the website. Changes frequencies, changes neural pathways. The healing is almost immediately. We have 59 programs for different kinds of ailments. We use talk therapy to an extent. Somatic experience is something we use, and that's basically listening to your body. When we relapse, when we self-sabotage with anything, it never happens on that day. So alcohol will never come to me and go, "Hey, Rob, let's have a drink tonight." It's a week before at least, where my mindset starts to get pissed with everybody. I start being that's where it happens. So that is used to treat that, to make sure that we can listen to our body and we know when something's not right instead of rolling with it. Most people that come to me and said, "I've had a really bad day, Dr. Robb," I go, "Was it really a bad day, or was it 5 minutes you strung out all day?" And it's the 5 minutes. That means they're still suffering from the childhood trauma. Big subliminal, inside of that, all the time on patients coming, all of the time, convincing them. If I told you a lie now, you might believe it, you might not. If I told you a lie real often enough, Steve, you're going to believe it. But guess what? If I told you real often enough, I'm going to start to believe it. The brain doesn't know the difference between the truth and the false, period. Just like it doesn't know the difference between pharmaceutical drugs and street drugs. So if you're going out there thinking it's going to be a bad day, guess what? You'll have a bad day.
Yeah.
And it can't be that easy. You have to do the breath work, teeth work, mirror work in the morning. You've got to do all it really is that easy. And it's that quick, and everybody should be on this, and everybody should be free, and everybody should be, performing like 100% of the capabilities instead of 45, and a lot of it comes down to the oxygen that we take.
Sure.
It's very 100% important in the morning. When to intake oxygen as quick as you can, as fast as you can, to urge the brain, every single cell in the body is filled with oxygen, ready to go. If you don't do that, the subconscious brain will run that day, and you will have a bad day. I don't have bad days, Steve. Now, I have better than others that's challenging, but how can I have a bad day? How? It's impossible, because the life I lead, and 25% of our work is pro bono. Okay, 25% of our earnings are taken back into the community. Me and my wife give $150,000 out every year of our own bank account going back into society. No veteran ever pays coming to any of my clinics around the world. Wow. It's stuff like this that keeps us grounded. It's like, "What are you giving back, Rob? I've seen the car, I've seen that. What are you giving back?" Well, it's none of your business, but the company knows quite well that as long as we're giving back, we will be successful. And when we stop giving back, when I started coming out, which I have done a few times, and my wife's told me on that, when I start believing the hype, when I'm getting off a private jet and waiting for my car, and the chauffeur's 5 minutes late, and I'm kicking off, what the hell, Rob? What? She slapped me once, and she's a quiet girl. She's never done it since, but she said, "If you ever hear you that, where's my chauffeur?" I said, "Well, this relationship is over, Rob. That's not who I want to be with." So you've got to keep grounded all the time. You've got to keep your feet in the trenches and your head in the clouds. And I've got a spiritual life. I believe in God. He saved me from the streets. I got introduced to this guy called John, which we've never found. He was an angel. And I know that God tests me every day. He sends people to me that can't afford. He sends people to me. All this stuff that happens, he's testing me. He's like, "Well, so this guy over here is paying crazy amount of money to see you because he's some famous rock star or something. But this guy over here who can't afford to pay anything is coming to you and asking for help. What are you doing? Well, are you saying no to this guy because this guy is paying you hundreds of thousands a month? Or, stuff like that. It's like, you've always got to be giving back. You've always got to be aware. You've always got to be living in the solution now, because that's all we have. We'll just live in the moment. It is so true, guys. Yesterday, depression. Tomorrow, anxiety. Imagine how many people died last night, Steve, who had plans for today. And I'm 64. Okay, so if you go by the normal health, 75 is usually the way the age people die. So I'm 60. I have 11 birthdays left on this earth. I have 11 Christmases left on the. What am I going to do? Do the same shit, or am I going to explode and do the best I can with everything and live my life today like crazy and enjoy? I'm going to do the latter. Because it's very important that you value the time you have today. Moms, how many times wave them off to kindergarten, next minute I'm waving them off to college. Where's that time gone? We get lazy with the time. We just fall into this, well, every day is the same for me. What? Where'd you get that saying from? Oh, I've got to take the kids to school, and you get to take the kids to school. Do you know how many fathers and mothers would cut their right hand off to have a daughter or son that they can take to school, but they get complacent? And most of the work that we do is to take you out of that complacent situation and mindset.
That is so powerful, so powerful. So it's all starting in the mind, whatever it is, your finances, whether it's your health, whether it's your future, whether it's your relationship, it starts with his mind. So tell us about your bookends in the morning. You talk about a morning routine. Maybe give us an example of your breath work that you do, and then maybe your bookend at night, which I think is obviously very important.
So morning work is vital. So for those who do not know, because I ask lots of people what vital and it's important, vital means necessary to life. When you go on the vital sign, it's necessary to life that you do this in the morning. And if you don't, you will not live. Well, you will not live the life you want to lead, period. So again, subconscious brain wakes us up. Why? Hypoxic between 2 and 5 in the morning. On a normal circadian sleep pattern is when the body is at its best pertaining to repair. So the oxygen is low. That's why nobody's ever woke up laughing. No oxygen. To wake up in the morning within that hypoxic subconscious brain situation. Swing your legs over, sit on the side of the beds because you will go busy, and do what we call breath work. And it's 20 exaggerated breaths. Make that stupid face while you're intaking. Get 20 of them done. You will go dizzy. You're doing it right. If you don't go dizzy, you won't do it. Get that in first thing in the morning. What that does, it stuffs out the subconscious brain, and the conscious brain loves oxygen. So what happens is this. Boom. This guy's in charge. Remember the brain resets, 3 parts of the brain reset. So the conscious brain is in charge. Now every single body is tingling. We feel good. Going to the bathroom. Let's change some neural pathway patterns around. If you brush your teeth with the right hand, do a left on the week, right on the week, left on the week, right on the week. Sounds silly. Changing patterns, because life's about patterns. Stand 6 feet away from the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you 10 times. That's all it is. That starts sucking the subconscious brain of worthy sayings. I love you, nothing else. Don't do any other affirmations. I love you are the key word. Do not stand near the mirror while you're shaving or putting makeup on, because what happens is that the optical illusion is when we get up to the mirror, we can see all our blemishes, and that's how we think people see us. So we're not as confident. Stand 6 feet away, all the blemishes disappear. Because let's face it, when's the last time you were in the office? Hey, Jimmy, great to see you. We don't do that. So if you want to move back and say all our blemishes go out, compliment 3 people that day, and be the best people serving others. Don't worry about the money. It will come. Start the business. You won't get rich by working for somebody else, by the way. Start that business. Start smiling. Be that guy on the elevator. You know what elevators where there's 20 people in there, everyone's looking in a different direction. Be that guy. Hey, good morning, guys. What sort of days are going to be today, guys? What sort of day is it going to be? It's going to be amazing. There we go. Everyone say that guy. Be that guy, because that's not called being loud. That's what's called being a leader. And you can bet that everybody on the elevator is going to have a better day because you did that. Step out the comfort zone every single day. Step out the comfort zone. Do stuff we're not supposed to do. as alcoholic. I'm not supposed to do this, Steve, as an alcoholic and a bum. I'm not do things we're not supposed to do. I do it every single day. A minor thing, a major, whatever it is, go to work a different way, get up in the morning, have a shower before coffee or coffee. Anything that disrupts that pattern, okay, will take you to a different level. And of course, just you're eating, watch what you're eating, sunflower oils, rancid seed oils, it's killing you. Please don't do it. Don't be fooled by the health bars either. 9 grams of protein, 0 fat. Turn it around, look on the back. Oh, biochemical. Oh, sunflower oil. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And there might be a nut in there or something. It's all killing us. So the food industry gets us sick and the pharmaceutical companies keep us sick. Oh, that's not true, Dr. Robb. Let me ask everyone a question who's watching this. Have you ever been to the doctors, is give you a pill for the ailment that you have, that you've taken the pill, it's cured the ailment, so you don't have to take the pill again? No. Yeah, I didn't think so. But when I go to the doctor with depression, I have depression. Oh my God, oh really? Oh, okay, now let me write you a prescription for some depression medication, and in a few weeks' time, you'll feel okay. So I go and do that, and a few weeks later, I kind of feel good. Look in the dictionary of the USA Medical, what it says is depression, lack of serotonin. Why isn't anybody asking why my serotonin is low in the first place? We get it all the time in here, Steve. Oh, Dr. Robb, I'm very depressed. Oh, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm so depressed. Okay. Have you taken any medication for this? Yeah, I've taken it for 3 years. When the fuck do you think it's going to kick in? Because it hasn't kicked in yet, and you've been taking it for 3 years, and you're still depressed. It's like, get out of that mindset that medication is not, now you've got heart medication. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about psych medication, when they're sticking all kinds of drugs in us. Have you ever noticed you get a drug, you see it on TV, and it's got, I don't know, a new illness, or do you suffer from schizophrenia disease? We have a new medication. It also treats, then they give 30 other that it treats. How does that happen? I mean, it drives me crazy. Take away the music, listen to the side effects, and you will never take that medication ever with the side effects. It's like, come on, get real. Eat real food. Eat raw food. Don't be buying vitamins from the local store. Make sure you buy the multivitamin or vitamin that's organic. Look at these things and make sure that you're eating the right stuff, because the bar or whatever it is, just turn the package around, man. McDonald's fries in England, 4 ingredients. McDonald's fries in America, 21 ingredients. You can stick a McDonald's meal, we've done it, and leave it for 6 months, pull it out the cupboard, not the fridge or freezer, pull it out the cupboard, and it's still the same. Stick it outside for a month. Not one ant or one animal go nowhere near it. We've got to be thinking all the time. If you're treating the mental illness, you have to treat the food around that. If you're treating the mental illness, you have to treat the exercise around you, of what you do in your family life. Are you thriving? Are you every single day moving forward? Are you 10 out of 10 every single day? Well, that's just not possible, Dr. Robb. Someone's lied to you. I've got 11,000 patients over the years that are doing better today, building empires, being best moms, being the #1 podcasters. You know who I mean? But yeah, do it. Don't wait. You don't got time. Do it now. Buy that car. Date that girl. Date that guy. Do it now.
That is absolutely inspirational. Anything and everything is possible. And even the food and the nutrition, Dr. Robb, it starts with the mind once again, linked to the possibilities of who you want to become. Who is your identity? So people are trying to change their nutrition and their diet. They do it for 6 months, but they haven't done it from the inside out. Like you suggest, everything starts with the mind. Everything starts with that internal dialogue linked to who they want to become. Is that correct?
100% correct, man. If you're not looking, what happens with these rancid foods that we eat, okay, guys, is when you eat food, it's not taken in the source that you eat it. It has to be methylated into a source that we can use as human beings. The rancid oils, the sunflower oils and other, GM stuff, we cannot methylate as human beings. We're not supposed to touch rancid oils, So if we take something and we can't methylate it, there becomes a deficiency. That deficiency causes the cancers, causes the all that stuff. You have to be aware. Everything is from the mind. Mind over matter. If we could program the mind easy to run the brain that day only, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't you get that job, that girl, that guy, that house, that car? Wouldn't you get that? You know, you get that 100%.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because the mind is the key. You know, the mind is the key. We can get the mind right. Anything becomes impossible. Even if you're not a religious or spiritual guy, the universe itself will tell you, even through quantum physics, that when one connects with another, miraculous, not good, miraculous, things of miracles, guys, will, W-I-L-L, capital I, will happen. I beg anybody to try this, what we're speaking about, and it not work. With an honest mind, not just, oh, I want some money off Dr. Robb.
Yeah.
I'll give you money if it doesn't work. It's biologically impossible for it not to work, because this is the stuff that human beings thrive on. You know, you want to be good, buy steak. Check the steak, man. Check the eggs. Check the lettuce. Everything check. And people that live on a budget, I'm not saying everyone go to Whole Foods and spend like $500 in something you could get from $100 at Walmart. I'm not saying that. But how about once a week? You eat some eggs, you eat some steak, you get, you know, vegetables from the earth. You just really stay away from that junk food that you always eat, and you will find a difference after one week of doing that, because your mind becomes clearer, you know, and you think better and you feel better, and the weight will drop off you. The weight is a mind thing. You can go to the gym every day you want. You're not going to lose weight. You know, it's everything's in the mind. The mind programs everything. Yeah. You know, we have to understand that, you know, I'm not this clever. I wish people, oh, you're so amazing. No, I'm not. I'm just old, and I know this shit because I've studied this stuff. Is that the mind is the key. When you start to lose your mind, all bets are off, guys. So look after it. Do the reading. Do the little games. Eat properly. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. All this stuff will make you live longer. If you do, this has been proven. Gary Brecker and I, we share patients, and he proved this, that when you do your breath work in the morning religiously, every single day, you add years onto your life, And that's what it's about. That's the only reason I do what I do today, Steve, is I could retire today, never work a day, buy an island somewhere, be like, do anything I wanted to do. Why don't I do that? Sick of watching people die.
Yeah.
See, I don't want you to do as good as me, guys. I want you to do better than me. I have to pass this on to somebody now. I'm 64. I'll never retire, but we have a 3-year out, me and my wife, from this week. Someone has to take over that guy. Why not you, guys? Why don't you just listen to this in a 1-bedroom apartment, and maybe it's a woman with 2 kids and the husbands are taken off because you can't stand it anymore. You are a crossroads lady, and you can look at J.K. Rowling. She's the first billionaire. Do you know she got told on more than 1,000 occasions? Don't be stupid. Go back home. You're just a woman. You can't write books. Look after your children on the projects you live on. You know, and how many times the Beatles got turned down? You know, how many times you can name anybody. They've been turned down time and time again, but you are at a crossroads, lady, and we love crossroads. If you get to direct where you're going to go, not the husband, not the work, not the poverty. You decide what you and your children are going to do. And as long as that's mindset, you will do it, and stay to that mindset, and don't take any shit of anybody, and focus. You know, if you're around people that's always, oh, I'm not too sure you could do that, change your friends. If you're in a job that you hate, change your job. If you're in a relationship and you're walking home every night and change the relationship, get somebody else. It's not that easy. It really is that easy. Stop living in that mindset that's killing you on a daily basis, and you fell into that comfort zone, and you're fearful and you're scared, and you don't think you can do it, to step out because people might judge you. Nobody's watching you, and nobody's coming for you, guys. You're on your own, and what you choose to do will happen. Don't rely on other people, man. Be that guy or that girl.
Wow. Love your passion, love your inspiration. Incredible. So the morning is breath work. It's the mirror work. And then what does the evening look like before sleep?
So the evening, what we teach people is just to reflect. Spend 10 minutes before bed. If you can be sat in bed, don't watch TV in bed. It's the worst thing you can do. Have some meditation music on it and stuff like that. And just go over in your mind, and with a small pad and paper, write down your achievement. I complimented this guy who did this, applied for that job, whatever it is, and put it next to you. and then slowly start breathing in, box breathing if needed, and then fall into that natural sleep. And your life will become amazing. I mean, it's simple things, Steve, that we teach people, but a lot of people don't want to do it because they don't think it's real. It's like we have studied so long on the mind and the brain pertaining to addiction, and what we found is it works with everybody. What we found is we build entrepreneurs, we help people build businesses, we help people earn $1 million a year, whatever it is that you can do. We brainwash you, because my brain needed washing, by the way, Steve. We brainwash you in the nicest possible way to take you into this person that's unstoppable. But once you find your identity, guys, once you have that change of mind, which is the neural pathway changes, you become a very, very dangerous person. So stick to the routines. Be happy every day, no matter anybody says. Force yourself to be happy and go through the day and expect. Here's the important part, guys. If you've taken nothing else from this interview, take this. Expect good things to happen. Don't expect. You get up in the morning, think it's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Expect miracles to happen to you when you get up tomorrow morning and you follow the routine that Steve and I have discussed today. Expect miracles, expect things to happen for you, and they will happen for you.
Wow, super powerful. Where can people find you, Dr. Robb? Where can they connect with you?
So if you're listening, not watching, I spell my name with 2 B's, ROBBKELLY.com. If you're interested in the breathbox work, it's breathbox.studio. We do 90% online. Most of my work is online. So if you need us to help you, just get in touch with us. There is a book out there. And the only reason why I show it is, don't buy it on Amazon. Is we've got 10 copies to give away, guys. Last thing my daughter said to me when the authorities took them off is, Daddy, please stop drinking. And I couldn't do it. 4 years ago, this girl here got in contact with me after 30 years. She sent me a message. She said, hey, Dad. She called me Dad. I want to see you. Can you come over to England? Within 4 hours long plane, I got to the hotel, I stayed overnight. I went the next day with my wife. I was crying, I was shaking. All the doubts, all the shame, all the guilt, all the remorse come on me. And she's 30-something years old. I got to the door, Steve, and I couldn't knock on the door for the life. She opened the door and expected we fell into each other's arms, and we cried and we laughed, but it seemed like an hour. It was probably a couple of minutes. She took me by my hands and she walked me into a living room. She handed me my 3-month-old graphics. I'm going to give 10 copies free, guys.
Wow.
Steve or I know, you can contact both of us. I'll sign it personally to you. I'll pay for the shipping and everything. Won't cost you a dime. Have a nice read bit, pass it on to somebody else when you finish with it. And last but not least, put Dr. Robb in any search engine up on comms. We're here to help. And one thing I will say is, moms and dads, if you're having a kid or a child or a young adult going through addiction or alcoholism and stuff like that, you as a parent can call us between the hours 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. in the morning. You can discuss as long as you want of how to be not be, enabling, but how to help this situation. It will never cost you a dime. We have 2 people in the office. One of them is my wife, and she will talk to you guys and she'll talk you through it, and she'll never try and sell you nothing, because we're not here for that. So we're just here to help, guys.
Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for sharing that short story. Incredible. And just overflowing with just love for people, wanting to see people thrive, not go through what you've been through. And, I really believe there's been an incredible connection with the 2 of us. We'd love to have you in South Africa and bless you coming to our home, celebrate you, take you on safaris. We've had some guests that have come through. It's been amazing. I really appreciate your time, your calling, your courage. I love the passion. I love that you're you. From Manchester United supporter since I was born, with a red flag in my hand. So I really appreciate you. I want to declare favor and blessing over you, Dr. Robb, that you would just rise even higher, even stronger into a supernatural calling that you have. So thank you so much. I hopefully one day not only shake your hand, but give you a huge hug, feel that energy, feel that frequency that comes from you. That would be a privilege. It would be my privilege. So thank you so much.
It was amazing. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.